Hey everybody, welcome to Moment of Clarity. This has to do with racist policing. Oh, by the way, share this, let everyone know. Please, if you're new to this, I do these every single day, every single weekday, except sometimes. So write that down on your calendar. Every single weekday except sometimes. Don't show up on the sometimes, because if you show up on the sometimes, nobody's going to be here. But anyway, you can find it almost every day at leecamp.com. Just go to leecamp.com. There's other things too. There's Redacted Tonight. There's my podcast, my columns and things. So you can find all of that at leecamp.com. And because I'm incredibly censored, very suppressed, you have to make a choice whether you want this content or want to see my columns or want to see my TV show. And it's going to have to actually be, I know it takes a lot of effort, but it has to be a mental choice of yours where you go, I would like to look that up and go find it, because they're not going to feed it to you. They're not going to be like, oh, you like this? Well, you would like fucking Redacted Tonight. No, the algorithms are done with me because I say things like everything I've already said to you. So, all right. Moving on. We all kind of know the police are racist in one way or another, but it's good to get the actual numbers, the actual reporting, the actual studies that show us what we're dealing with. Because a lot of people, they'll go, I've never seen any racist police, or, not everybody's had even many experiences with police, especially if you live in a not heavily populated area. But so it's good to see the studies that really show you what people are dealing with, really show you the nitty gritty, the numbers. So this is a report out of Los Angeles. It's from Black Agenda Report, but it's on popularresistance.org. Blacks in LA are nearly 4 times as likely to be cited by police. And so this is out of Los Angeles Police Department. This is a report released by the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights. They analyzed low-level infractions in California between 2017 and 2019 and found that the LAPD and police agencies across the state disproportionately target Black residents. Now, many of you may know, you're kind of like, yeah, duh, but the numbers may still shock you. These advocacy groups collected data on the most minor municipal offenses. So here are some of the key findings, and I'm gonna lead with the most insane one. Despite being only 7% of the adult population, so Black people in Los Angeles are 7% of the population. Black Angelinos, meaning Los Angeles residents, accounted for 27% of drinking in public infractions, 33% of sleeping or sitting, loitering tickets, and 63% of loitering while standing citations. 7% of the population, and they get 63 fucking percent of the loitering while standing citations. How insane is that? That is like, because you got to figure, if they're only 7% of the population, the cops have to seek them out. You have to go and find where the Black people are in Los Angeles. Because if they're only 7% of the population, that means you go almost through most of the city and you're not going to find that many Black people. You're going to find a few here, a few there. But this is not one of the cities in America where it is a very large Black population. 7%. 7% a small Black population, and yet the cops are running around finding them and giving them loitering while standing citations is one example. And can you tell me what the fuck is loitering while standing? What the fuck happened to a free country? You can't fucking stand somewhere? And I'm sorry to use fuck so much, but when you're talking about being given a citation for standing, and this is about the time to say you won't stand for it. But I just are you goddamn assholes. This is the right wing. This is the garbage that they put forward. When they're like, oh, free country. If you don't like it, leave. This is a free country. It's not a free country. It's not a free country. If you can't stand somewhere, if you can't walk around with alcoholic beverage, it's not a free country. Bullshit free country. And a lot of people, I think, might go, well, okay, that sounds a little racist, but it's just a citation. It's not a big deal, right? Just give you a little piece of paper. But the people who say that aren't thinking it through, because there's a lot of things that come along with a citation. One is it gets you in the system. Okay, so now the police have you in the system, and next time they see you for something else, let's say it's another standing violation, you're standing still, or something else. You know, you're smoking a joint. I guess that's legal in LA, but whatever. Some small violation of something, maybe a traffic violation. And they look you up in their little computer and they go, "Oh, he's had former citations. He's in our system. He's a criminal because he was standing somewhere." And so now you're in the system, and that makes it worse going forward. Furthermore, there can be problems with paying it. You know, people often, if they're getting standing violations, they tend to be not rich people, because guess what? Rich people are less likely to be standing around. I'm sorry, these are crazy facts about reality. They tend to stand around in their goddamn, fucking penthouses, where they don't get these citations, and they don't get these citations because they are rich people. The cops don't walk up to people in three-piece suits and say, "Why you standing here? Can I give you a citation for standing here?" And then, what was it, 27% or something of the publicly drinking an alcoholic beverage. Now, okay, technically illegal to walk around with an alcoholic beverage. One of the stupidest laws on the books outside of standing somewhere. But as in New York City, these are commonly, those types of citations and laws and things are used almost exclusively against people of color. In New York City, Matt Taibbi wrote a book called The Great Divide, I believe, or The Divide. Can't remember, one or the other. And he talks about in New York City, they give out these, walking around with an alcoholic beverage, open alcoholic beverage, right? And it turns out only 4% of those arrests or citations are given to white people. Meaning, if you're white in New York City, you can walk around with an alcoholic beverage. If you're black in New York City, you can't. See, these things are on the books. These little laws are on the books in order to allow racist policing. I mean, that is their main use. It allows cops to go up to people standing somewhere and harass them and give them citations. And if they talk back or they fight back, then they're arrested for that. So then you have a new reason to arrest them, where it allows them to search the people and find a joint where marijuana is not legal, or find some other small amount of drug, which our drug laws are fucking ridiculous, and then arrest them for that. So it allows cops to harass and arrest people of color. That is the whole point of these tiny citations, like standing still. And like, people should be furious that we claim to even slightly live in a free society and you can get arrested for standing still. Do you need any more proof that our policing system is horseshit? That our laws are horseshit? People are being arrested for standing somewhere? Go fuck yourself. I haven't read all this article, so let's see if there's other good notes in here. Oh, they're saying that there's similar treatment in places outside of Los Angeles, such as San Diego, and many other areas have similar numbers to this. Black residents in LA were 3.8 times more likely to be cited for minor infractions. Overall, Black residents in California are 9.7 times more likely to receive a citation for local infractions than white residents, and Latinx residents were 5.8 times more likely to be cited than white neighbors. So, again, these may seem like small things, like, oh, okay, well, it's a racist system, but at least it's just a loitering citation. But no, that leads down a path, and the police and our system want to push people down that path. They want to get people of color into the system. They want to make it harder for you to operate in your regular lives. Not to mention, if you do get locked up for, let's say, 6 months, a year or something, well, first of all, when you get out, now it's that much harder to get a job. Often you'll lose public assistance. Often it destroys lives, right? You come out, you no longer have your girlfriend. Your wife has left you. She took the kid with them. Whatever else. Your mom doesn't want to speak to you because she believes that you shouldn't have been arrested for those drugs. You don't have any money. You can't get a job because they're like, where you been for a year? It just keeps snowballing. And then people are like, well, what the fuck am I going to do for cash? So then they start going back to crime because they're going to fucking die of starvation if they don't find some money. And it pushes people down this path. I'm not saying it's okay to rob people. I'm just saying it pushes people down this path. And it doesn't need to be this way. We could actually have a free country. We could actually have policing that is completely different, a completely new version of policing that is more community-based, that isn't designed to destroy lives and lock people up for years for nothing infractions. But we don't have that discussion, you know? We have Mr. Racist in Chief Donald Trump, who clearly doesn't give a fuck about people of color. And then you have Joe Biden, who's locked up more people of color than perhaps any living politician, I'd say. Yeah, I think that's probably true. Probably more than any living politician. Joe Biden is responsible for putting more people of color behind bars with his ridiculous, insane, and racist crime bill that he forced through. And now he says parts of it had some mistakes. He said that last night or the other night in the town hall. Dad, did some parts of it have mistakes? You mean like all of it? And if you felt there were mistakes, why haven't you spent your last 20 years at least trying to overturn the goddamn thing? If you suddenly realized how racist it was and how much it was destroying communities and how much it was imprisoning people and how it turned America into the largest prison state in the fucking world, why would you not spend your time undoing it? Because he doesn't give a fuck. So even if you wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he didn't understand what it was going to do, then why hasn't he been working every day to try and undo it? Because he doesn't give a shit. And all of this fits into kind of the overarching, I don't want to leave you without getting to the deeper thread. All of this fits into the overarching dilemma of capitalism, which is capitalism has a democracy problem. The oligarchs, the ruling elite, can't let everyone vote. They can't let everyone have agency, have free agency, and really decide what their lives are like. Because if they did, guess what? We'd all unite eventually and kick them the fuck out and distribute the wealth at least somewhat more evenly, rather than three individuals having 50% of all the wealth. And they know that they would lose out, that we would unite, we'd work together, you and me, your neighbors, your friends, everyone who's a worker would all come together. You'd have 90% of the nation united against a tiny number of 1% or something of the population, and it would destroy their little game of exploitation. So they need these things. They need racist policing. They need to knock people off the voting rolls. They need gerrymandering. They need to be able to purchase elections with money. All of those things are required for capitalism to maintain its exploitative system. And so you get back, even though this just seems like some numbers about people being arrested while standing, it all comes back to capitalism as a democracy problem. It does not like democracy. Democracy is a big thorn in its side. And so they find ways to continue the exploitation machine. All right, guys, I hope that you found this useful, and I hope you'll come back often. Remember, you are not going to be shown my videos. You probably have to go look them up at leecamp.com. I put these out every single weekday, except sometimes. And you can also check out my free podcasts. One is called Common Censored. The other is called Government Secrets. Definitely look those up. Seriously, give Government Secrets a try. See if you like what you hear. Me and Graham Elwood, it's every week. And I think that, I think you'd be a fan if you just check it out. Government Secrets. And also my book is at leecampbook.com. You can get 20% off by using the coupon code, the initials of the title, BPAPL. And my comedy special is free at leecampamerican.com. All right, please share this. Please click subscribe. and keep fighting.